Well, I found the 2018 thing absolutely abysmal and just rock bottom stupid and irredeemably bad. This is slightly better. I will say about literally 25 minutes of this thing is not really a Michael Myers movie. They do this whole thing about vigilantism, mob violence, Black Lives Matter. There's this weird subtext thing. And it's very explicit. It's very much on the nose. That was pretty boring and stupid. They at least see it through to the end. So, what is this one about? Well, it's essentially still following the night from 2018. And no joke, this really is the whole plot. He just keeps finding some people, kills them, some other people survive, and that's about it. They establish at the end he is supernatural and Michael really can't be killed. It's like, okay, I knew that already. Beyond that, I'm struggling to find good things for this. Probably the strongest thing is the music. That was pretty strong, which is by Carpenter. It works in most places. Beyond that, I really didn't like most of the film because Michael is incredibly sadistic in this one, and that's only been true in a few of the entries. So, him being this sadistic and his super strength is insane. The amount of super strength he has in some places is ridiculous. So, that was really annoying. And there's a lot of inconsistencies in how powerful he is, how vulnerable he is. But some people were impressed by the kills. I was not. Legitimately only scared or frightened in one sequence, and there's also only one sequence which I did find legitimately funny, and they intended to be funny. But most of this film is pretty laughable. I was literally screaming with laughter at it because it was really that ridiculous. So it's a really bad horror movie. It's a really bad movie, but it is legitimately a good comedy, and they did not intend that. So I did enjoy this movie, but not, I think, the way they intended. So it is awful. It is really awful, but it is still slightly better than the other one. Somewhat more cohesive. It is non-stop Easter eggs. There are just insane amounts of nostalgia moments. They even literally try to recreate scenes from the 1970s. It's just downright absurd. I mean, they even have Loomis make a cameo, and I'm like, oh god, this is terrible. So all they really have are just nostalgia moments and outrageous kills, and giving Michael the usual magical teleportation, insane plot armor, and luck of the Irish, because he keeps getting out of hairy situations. But there was one sequence where they don't give him magical teleportation. That was well done. They actually follow him. It seemed to make sense. Like the first one, I would legitimately think is like a 2.5 to a 3 out of 10 movie. This isn't as bad. It's more like just a straightforward 4 out of 10. I can see some people giving it a 5 out of 10, but I cannot believe even like diehard Halloween fans think this is a good movie. I'm just like shocked. I guess the low thrills were enough for people, but I mean, there's some good moody cinematography here and there. Some individual shots were well done, but we're really in need of a better editor and just patiently going through this thing and reconstructing it. It badly needs a kind of Snyder cut treatment. As it is, it's just barely tolerable, but if you go with its silly premise, I guess it'll work for you. I was never bored, but it's really just ho hum. It's just like, okay, all right, it's over, I guess. Moving on. I just want this thing to end. It was a really, I'm not even going to say disappointing because I didn't like the first one. It's just like, it's just very routine and functional and doesn't go anywhere really. So there we are for Halloween Kills. Some people didn't like that Laura didn't do more. I actually like that part, that was a little logical that she wasn't as strong as the first one, but that's me. Michael really gives a good committed performance. So Mr. Hall at least is very committed, but the script is terrible. So Michael looks great in most of the shots, but in some places he doesn't even look good. That's about it. Michael looks good. Hall was good. Some good cinematography here and there, and one good sequence. At least, honestly, the 2018 had kind of a good 10 good minutes. This one really only has, counting it carefully, really 7 good minutes. Really, I can only point to about 2 or 3 scenes that were legitimately good, and that is about it. A lot of it was, it was really a drudge to get through, but again, if you buy the silly premises, this will work for you. If you even care minimally about plot or characters or cohesion or the mythology or the other films, there's nothing to see here. It's basically just splicing parts 1 and 2 and not really doing anything different or improving. That's about it. So the strongest things are Michael looks good, the music was good, Hall was good, and that's about it. Hall, the music, and a few good kills here and there, but this thing's like an hour and 40 minutes, so it really is legitimately good in about 20 minutes of the film, and about an hour and 20 minutes is pointless. And that is Halloween Kills for you. 4 out of 10. Do you want to pay for it? It's up to you. I wouldn't. I don't think they should be encouraged, but there's some good stuff here and there, and if that's enough for you, hey, by all means, go for it. At least this thing will hopefully end and they will move on, because this thing was utterly pointless. An utterly pointless trilogy. Maybe the third one will be strong enough to redeem the first two parts, but if you're only at 1 point higher from the last entry, that is not a good sign, at least to me, in my humble opinion. Thanks for listening.